Then you watch and sleep and leave it on. Especially in cultures where people have imported everything after 10 p.m. showing everywhere. Children are not asleep. Oh. They are watching more than you. You are in the same single room. If you are in a single room with 1 or 2 children, your TV must only watch Good Life Devotion. After that, put it off. Disconnect it. If you leave it on, they will watch things that you are not aware of. Okay? People have their phones and they do many things. Don't awaken love. A young man, busy yourself with the movies or the scriptures. Read your Bible. Speak in tongues. Go for evangelism. Occupy yourself. Don't be idling around in secret places. Don't entertain thoughts that will pollute your system. Don't awaken love. We put here that massive innovations of information technology such as TV, radio, social media, smartphones, and so on have made spreading the gospel easy. But many Christians have also shipwrecked their faith through them because they have become captives of the devil's device of releasing sexually exciting information and images through media platforms. You say you are born again full of the Holy Ghost? Are you taking nude pictures and exchanging them with somebody? These things shouldn't be mentioned. You know who the Holy Ghost is? Do you know his name? Holy Ghost. Many Christians mess up with premarital and extramarital sex because they keep fire in their bosom. You are not wiser than God. God said, you can't keep fire in your bosom and it will not burn you. You can keep fire in your bosom. See sexual intercourse as holy and in the marriage setting. Respect it, honor it. But if you disrespect it and want to be hanging around, watching things around, you just push yourself into things that are not right. According to the Bible, there is a timing and there is a context for sex. Praise the Lord. The born again is a master over everything in life and should never be entangled with anything that has the appearance of evil. The Bible says that run away from all appearances of evil. I'm always telling you again and again, life is easy. You have so much power. Nothing can hold you captive if you know yourself. Because greater is he that is in you than any temptations from Satan and the world around. You are such a fortified city that Satan cannot break you down. Know who you are and live accordingly. So the right time and context for sex. What's the right time? When you marry. What's the right context? Husband and wife. Full stop. Anything out of this is not correct. Even if you are married, you don't have to go to another person. You can't say, okay, I'm a married man. No, it is between husband and wife. So parents, bring your children up this way. Teach them. Yes, the schools are exposing them to information at a very early age. You have to flow along and help them. But always explain. Let them know. The same way that they are not in university today, there are other things that are for university level. Teach them to go according to the systems of how God has made life to be. And they will grow to respect it. They will know it is there, but they will respect it. Are you following? All right, Father, we thank you for this time. We bless you for teenagers, adolescents, that by this message, parents are enabled and positioned to help them to grow. And they are enabled to walk in the light of truth and not be messed up in Jesus' name. Amen. If you've been watching us, this is a time to receive Christ and step into God's eternal plan for your life, because that is how he has planned it for you. Without receiving Christ, you would have been like Adam, who refused to eat of the tree of life, but rather chose to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That led him into death. You would have gone into your own death, no more because of Adam. But today is the day. Believe he died and rose again, that's Jesus. Declare him as Lord and receive eternal life and become born of God. If this is what you want to do, you can say this after me. Say, dear Lord Jesus, I thank you for coming to die for the world. I thank you for making eternal life available. I believe you were raised from the dead, and I declare you Lord of my life. I receive eternal life now. I am born again. Hallelujah. But that is all your heart. You are born again. Make sure you contact us. We'll help you to grow. Surely we're going to come away again in our next episode as we take a look at this subject matter of family matters from another angle. Till then, life is good. Enjoy.
Beloved in Christ, April is here, and you know what that means? Yes, your guess is as good as mine. World Soul Winning Day is around the corner. Oh, glory! Happening on Tuesday, 23rd of April 2024. Prepare to step out to make sense of God out of man by sharing the gospel of God's eternal plan for mankind, as stated in Ephesians chapter 1, verses 4 and 5, with anyone in your community, workplace, school, and in the marketplaces, and lead them to receive Christ. The theme for this year is Go Ye, as authorized by our Lord Jesus Christ in Matthew chapter 28, verse 19. Remember to take a selfie with the sons of God you make, along with their names and contact, and send them to 053 444 6907. Assist your souls to subscribe to the David Bender Live channel on YouTube and recommend the Good Life devotion to them for their daily nourishment and growth in Christ. World Soul Winning Day 2024. Go ye. Do not miss out.
Thank you for joining today's episode of your favorite Good Life devotion with Dr. David Bender. The Good Life devotion is proudly brought to you by friends and partners of the Final Global Movement.
For more information on how to become a partner, call us on 053 444 6907 or log on to our website finalglobalmovement.org. Become a partner today and contribute to the global spread of God's message for the now.
Follow us on our various social media handles and you will be blessed. Don't miss the Good Life devotion on the channels displayed on your screen at the scheduled times. Till we come your way with the next episode of the Good Life devotion with Dr. David Bender. Life is good. Enjoy.
Somebody ready to worship? It's gonna get hot in here.
Receive it. I see someone achieve. That's the one I want change. Hey, here at the end here. Sing for
It's a brand new day. God has blessed us with a beautiful morning. Welcome to Prime Morning. Welcome to an exciting Thursday with us right here on Prime Morning. My name is Akufo-Addo. I'm not here alone as usual. KMJ? Okay. And Rosalie.
KMJ is back.
Yeah, he's back.
He's back.
We're back.
He wasn't too well yesterday.
Yeah.
He traveled to America and then he came back. So just 24 hours, that's how we do it. Akufo-Addo and KMJ they can actually decide to fly out 24 hours and come back. It's
wow.
Cool. We got money.
Yeah, we got money.
And KMJ did it yesterday. He just proved to us that he can sit in a flight, go to America, come back. Oh, wow.
I have no idea what they're saying.
Like
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I'm good and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
It's a Thursday and our weekends always begins on Thursdays, right? All right, so we're going to get into it. A lot of things happening today on the show.
Yep.
Bust my brain with that. And for those of you out there who have been following, the IMF, the recovery process for Ghana and all of that, now they're projecting a 4.4% growth rate for 2025. Now, mind you, that's not 2024. 2024, they're looking at 2.8%, all right? So the IMF has been in engagement with a couple of other countries in Washington, D.C., and that's the report that is coming from there. But we have to go by certain conditions, and the conditions has been part of the IMF processes, and that's the only way we can achieve the 4.4 growth rate. Well, people think that it's a bit encouraging. This year will be 2.8, which is also a bit encouraging. But how do we achieve that? It all depends on how we go about our way of doing things here in the country. We'll have a conversation coming up on that. Concerned Association of Drivers have also come up. They've spoken about the 20% increase. They say that they have already implemented it. So who regulates what? How do we just do implementations without necessarily sitting down to ensure that it's coming from the right quarters? Now, even GPRT asked them to stop that. They didn't, and they've decided to move on with it. This country, everybody just does whatever they want. Look at what is happening with ECG and all that.
As much as we are being promised that when the IMF money comes, we are going to see growth. One thing that Ghanaians are looking for is if you talk about the growth, you keep talking, but can we feel the money's in our pockets? Because again, we're seeing inflation go up, we're seeing fuel prices go up, and so you're telling us the money comes in. It's as though every time the money is dropping, we see, inflation shoot up, the money comes, and then it takes us back to where we were. And they tell us, oh, it's getting better. I see who from going this to this. That's how it's beginning to look like. Yeah. Because fuel prices are shooting up. Yesterday night, COPEC actually, like 2 weeks ago, COPEC predicted 17 Ghana cities fuel increment. Yeah. Well, yesterday night, it came out as 18 Ghana cities. So, Sikana a free IMF bano. Where is it? Sikana, away?
You're not even thinking about how much you're supposed to pay in the next 10 years as debt. Charlie.
Are they still going to put an embargo on employment? Because I know that this time round, some of the conditions are to do with employment.
And they are promising you employment to be in power. So.
But don't forget that this particular tranche of money is coming with some sort of embargo on employment. Which we are not really talking about.
So the promises are what? Fake promises. Anyway.
Hello.
That's a news flash coming up this morning. From there, what do we have?
So right after that, I'll be bringing you stories that are trending on social media. That's during the What's Trending segment. And this is the part where I say, if you have anybody that you want to celebrate them, who is celebrating their birthdays today, please, the time is right now for you to send their pictures and the birthday message. What about after a What's Trending segment? I can't celebrate them, so please send the birthday messages right about now. And today is a Thursday, so we'll be doing Let's Talk Relationship. And today's conversation, this is something that has been quite worrisome for quite a number of you. You have been asking questions a lot. Today we are going to talk on ministry over family, the dilemma of a pastor's child. I know, Mabusa questions are checked because of certain things that you've seen, certain stories that you've heard about some pastors and their families. And so, get ready for that conversation during Let's Talk Relationship. Any questions at all that you have in relation to that, we are going to answer them for you. So get yourself prepared for an awesome time during Let's Talk Relationship. What else do we have?
Great stuff. We have some
yes,
sports news.
we have sports coming up, and then we have entertainment. Of course, you know we always bring you some sort of entertainment, and today we have a lady who yesterday I think she got into an interview saying that in one ear she has about 13 piercings. I'm talking about Akle, who will be joining us. Yes, she says she has 13, and other places actually.
Yeah.
So I wonder where the other.
I'm curious about the other place.
I know.
I love other places.
I know. She'll be joining us today. Of course, she has a new song, and she'll tell us more about the new song, the inspiration behind that song. I don't know what's going on with KMJ.
Excuse me, it's giving me ideas. It's giving me ideas.
Well, Akala will be joining us for that conversation. So do stay glued to your television set, and just like we always do, make sure you send in your messages to us. Just when KMJ sits down with a guest, please send in the messages as early as possible so he'll be able to read every single message. Time for our African proverb of the day, and what do we have?
Okay, African proverb for this morning. When you marry a monkey for his wealth, the money goes, but the monkey remains.
Who went to the upper, who went to Northern region?
And the baboons were crashing on
I'm going.
Who was that? Who were the baboons crashing on? Some weeks ago or months ago.
The baboons were crashing on.
So yeah, I mean, this is the interpretation of our African proverb.
So why are you pointing at me? Why are you pointing at me?
The only one that baboons have crashed on.
Lil Kim is the reason why this. Motivation is up next. After that, we got a show. Stay with us. Good morning.
You know who's gonna bail me out? You know who's gonna come and rescue me? You know who's gonna come and save the day? No one. I don't have backup.
Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming to tell me to turn the TV off. Nobody's coming to get me out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for me. I gotta do it all myself.
And many of you are not where you're supposed to be. Not because you're not gifted, not because you're not talented. You have absolutely no discipline.
You keep cutting yourself slack. You keep telling yourself you did enough. You keep letting yourself off the hook. It's time you punish you. From now on, you're not gonna hold any other human more accountable than you hold yourself.
It's high time that discipline became your best friend, your daily companion. It's time to face yourself. You're the only one tripping you up. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, no more messing around. You gotta get real doggish. You gotta get real dirty if you wanna make it.
It's these moments where you're tested by life, these decisions we make on a daily basis. Do we get up early and go for a run? Or do we hit the snooze button? Do we go that extra rep in the gym when our body's dying and we push past that? Or do we throw in the towel and give in to the pain?
Those inches you need to be number one are around us every single day. It's when you get up that day and do those little tiny things, the little details in life. That's what adds up to be the difference between the champion and average.
You think I don't get tired? Of course I do. But I've got reasons bigger than my fatigue. I'm out here setting the pace, making sure every day counts. Because I'm doing it for my family, I'm doing it for my wife, I'm doing it for my kids. This is my zone, and I'ma kill it. Ain't nothing gonna stand in my way. I'll work every fucking day if I have to, whatever it takes.
I need you to think about the people you're doing this for. And when that alarm goes off in the morning, you need the thought of those people you're grinding for to be louder than that alarm clock. So when it goes off and you're just not feeling it, you gotta think, do I hit the snooze button or do I get up and grind for those people?
You have got to push yourself. Your family's counting on you. Your dreams are counting on you. Everything you've ever wanted is counting on you.
So all those days you don't feel like getting up, just think about them. You don't get to success by quitting when you're tired. You get there by quitting when you're finished, when you're done. You don't stop when you're tired, you stop when you're done.
Dreams ain't easy. If they were, everyone would have everything they ever wanted. Waking up with zero energy won't cut it. You can't outsmart the grind. Some days, you just gotta have the grit and the hustle to get your ass up and get to work.
You don't make millions just cause you're talented or skilled. You make millions cause you execute.
You've been taking your sweet-ass time, and that shit's gotta stop. You can't afford to move at a snail's pace in a world that's racing by. You're not a bad person for it, but you'll remain in the middle of the pack if you can't pick up the pace.
It's time to kick it into high gear. You dedicate yourself to the daily grind, even when the high of motivation wears off.
Success is always full price every single time. There are no discounts, no markdowns. It's gonna cost you sweat, blood, and tears. So quit looking for the easy way out. There isn't one.
Discipline is about doing what you hate, doing the shit that makes you uncomfortable, that pisses you off, but you grit your teeth and get it done like it's your fucking passion.
It's about embracing the suck, lacing up those boots when you'd rather be kicking them off. It's dragging your ass out of bed when the blankets feel like a cozy cocoon of comfort, but you rise up anyway because there's work to be done.
That feeling of dread, that resistance, it's a sign that you're on the right track. Because real growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens in the trenches, in the grind, where every move is a battle.
It's easy to do what you love. It's a whole other ball game to do what you hate with the intensity and drive as if you love it. That's the essence of true fucking discipline. It's not about mood or feelings. It's about commitment. It's about saying, F my feelings, I've got a mission, and I'm not leaving until it's done.
You won't always stay motivated. There's gonna be times where you're dragging ass, and all you wanna do is collapse and go eat like crap. You have to learn to get yourself up and moving when it's the last thing in the world you wanna be doing.
See, that's what separates people. It's the difference between the dreamers and the doers. Between the people who talk a good game and those who play to dominate.
Regret weighs tons, but discipline weighs ounces. It's much easier to look back on a life full of discipline, knowing you made the right choice in the moment, rather than looking back on a life full of excuses, full of regret. Regret that you didn't pay the price for greatness.
Discipline doesn't give a flying about what you feel like doing. It's the relentless, unwavering force that keeps you moving forward when everything else screams for you to stop. It's doing the work, the hard, gritty, soul-testing work. And not just enduring it, but owning it like a fucking boss.
You make it happen. You get it done. Because that's who you are. A person of action, a person of your word. You stay true to what you said you'd do, not for glory, not for applause, but because that is the standard you hold yourself to. Long after the mood has left, you're still there, grinding, pushing, striving, because that's what it takes. That's integrity, that's honor, that's real power. And you have that power within you.
Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fie.
Hi there. Good morning if you just joined us here on the show. This is Prime Morning. It's time for News Flash. Proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise from Papa Pathie. We're going to get into our newspapers, the front page, and check out what has been reported, and then we'll move on to our substantive issues that we've told you earlier. Now you can send your messages ahead of time and let us know what you think. You can do so on our social media platform. We're streaming live on Facebook, on IG. You can also follow us over there and share your thought with us. We are also, open up on our WhatsApp line. You can just join us over there with your thoughts. We'll be more than glad to read from you this morning here on the various issues that we're talking about today. A big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning. It's the leading mobile phone accessories and electronic retail shop. It's the place you have to be if you're looking for quality and not quantity. Now, don't forget that a lot of people out there, looking forward to making changes when it comes to their phones, when it comes to their fridges, when it comes to their CCTV cameras and all of that. If anybody tells you they want to make a change of a sort, make sure you direct them to Franco Trading Enterprise. That's the only place they're guaranteed quality, and that's what we're talking about. So you can also get an air condition from there as well. And I'll tell you some other, goodies that they're giving out in a couple of minutes. But please do not pick any number from Google to call and do business with. These are scammers. Take this number that I'm giving you and always make sure that you call these two numbers: 0246 422338, 0246 422338 is the number you can call, and also 0555 933 11. These are numbers, the only numbers you can call Franco Trading Enterprise on. Our website is www.francotrading.com, and you can also get the Franco app on Google Play Store as well. So it's pretty simple. That's the only way you can connect with us, all right? So thank you so much for always believing in us and making us number one. Franco Trading Enterprise says, Phone Papa Fie. Newsflash is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Now we're going to go to the front page of the newspapers. My guests are seated in the studio, and then I introduce them real quick. Then we'll move on to talk about major issues for this morning. Now on the front page of Daily Graphic, it says GJA 75th anniversary launch. Journalists must be fearless, says Sam Jonah, and he's been captured on the front page of Daily Graphic. Ministry invites proposals for Saglemi housing project. That's also captured on the front page as well. I will inform first representative government in nation's history. Alan pledges. That's the front page of the Daily Graphic. Away from that, Daily Guide is here this morning. It says 4 caged over missing EC equipment. EC boss June Mess has been captured on the front page. Tamale delegation visit Musta to strengthen ties, and also on another point, new accountant general. Let's support women, says Baumia. And a man remanded for robbing second lady. That's also captured on the front page of Daily Guide today. Away from that, the Ghanaian Times is here, and it says 9-party alliance for revolutionary change to contest the 2024 polls. Alana Cash leads the pack. That's on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. So Works and Housing Ministry invites bids to revive a Saglemi housing project, and it's got Dr. Joyprime and Kruma, the minister, captured over there as well. 2 UK museums return Asante Royal objects, and President Akufo-Addo Asante inaugurates key energy projects in the Ashanti region. That's the Ghanaian Times today. Away from that, the New Crusading Guide, this one also reporting on Alan. It says Alan fights for ARC and Supremo woodworkers threaten face-off with concession encroachers. That's on the front page of the New Crusading Guide. Dr. Sam Jonah challenges journalists to uphold truth, independence, and accountability. And Jabosco NPP communication team commends government over new cocoa price and focus on women empowerment for inclusive development, says Dr. Baumia to CEOs. Now, KGL thriving on good corporate relationship. Alice Apple has been captured over there, and leverage trade to achieve development in Africa's agri sector, says Dr. Adwini Kesi. That's the New Crusading Guide this morning. Away from that, let's go to the New Finder, and it says, I will inform a truly representative government, says Alan, and Asante urges government to allow private investment in the ECG Gridco VRA. President commissions 150 megawatts plant to stabilize power supply in Ashanti region, and RFP for Saglemi issued, inviting private companies to complete houses, says the minister. Now, that's the New Finder for today as well, and that will be the front pages of the various newspapers we have for today. We'd like to say a big thank you again to Franco Trading Enterprise for making it possible for us to have our conversations here on Newsflash. You are invited to also send us your messages. Let us know what you think about the issues we're talking about. The IMF is projecting a 4.4% growth rate for Ghana in 2025 that they're looking at this year, and this year they're looking at the 2.8%. What are we supposed to do to ensure that we achieve this, and are we ready to make that even happen as a nation? Now we'll have a conversation around that, and also the drivers implementing the 20% increase in fares. We believe that we're supposed to have had some communications on these issues, but well, the Concerned Drivers Association, PRA, is saying that they've already implemented it way before. We'll have a conversation around that as well. My guest in the studio this morning, as always, I have over here the Honorable Alexander Percival Segbethia. Joined us this morning as a lawyer and former Minister of Health representing the NDC with me this morning. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, KMJ.
I trust you're good.
I'm good, and good morning to my colleague who you're soon going to introduce, and also to your cherished viewers and listeners.
Great. Thank you so much for making time for us. We don't take it for granted. And also joining us this morning, lawyer Kwame Jantwa Esquire. He's also here. So I've got two lawyers in the studio this morning, and am I not blessed? He's a senior member of the CPP and chairman, oil and gas sector, AGI. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
How are you, King?
I'm very well, thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, we are breathing, so we are alive. Alex, good morning.
And both of you, your best friend is here to join us. Last time he was somewhere at the car park. I'm not too sure where he is.
Okay, no comment.
Oh, no. When he comes, I'll tell you made a no comment. Oh, when I mentioned him.
But just to say, driving in the morning, coming here is like driving a gauntlet. There's so many heavy trucks on the road this morning. No street lights, no road marking. It's awful. It's awful. And we pay street lights. So sorry, viewers, for always complaining about it.
No, we have to.
You know,
we have to.
It's something else. And people are speeding.
Yeah.
That's what.
At early morning.
Yeah, boggles my imagination. People are speeding.
And that brings us to our Light Up Ghana campaign. I mean, we've asked you to send us messages. We appreciate the fact that you keep also sending your messages and letting us know what is happening in your areas. The street lights, the traffic lights, these are, things you're paying for. We're paying for as a nation, and we need to ensure that they are in good shape. And if a street light has not been working for 3 years, 2 years, even a year, even 6 months, that's a big problem. And so it is something that we all have to collectively take a look at and be part of it, so that we let the government know that we can't live in a country like this. It is not possible. And if you see, look at what is on your screens right now. This is deadly. This is Ghana. So imagine that you're driving and then all of a sudden you have a malfunction lights. It means you can either not move or you put yourself at risk by driving in that darkness. And this is not what we're supposed to be experiencing in 2024. We're promised better life, better Ghana. And if in 2024, this is how our street looks, that's dangerous. You can knock off anybody at any point in time.
Any point.
And this is crazy. This is our road.
And people wear black at night. You can't see. And then the cars coming from the opposite side, they are highlights, so it's shining in your eye. It's something else. And then what do they call those... people Aboboya, no lights on it, and they are going slow.
This morning, about 3 of them, they had no lights, and they were just maneuvering their ways throughout.
And the ones that take baller to have
heavy ones.
Oh God!
I mean, we don't deserve this. It's 2024. We don't deserve this. So please be part of this. We want you to be part of this. Collectively, let's let the government know that this is not right. Street lights, traffic lights. You have traffic lights that are not working for 5 years. Some, they repair them in 2 weeks, it's gone off again. Which kind of traffic lights are we using? Are we purchasing? I mean, how? It doesn't make sense. And the entire motorway does not have a street lights working. The entire motorway. And when people put their lives at risk, they're just going out to find money for themselves to feed their family and themselves. And they end up not coming back again because of what? Street lights, traffic lights. This is wrong. So please, viewers, let's all be part of this. No matter where you are, which area, which region, send us the messages. Let us know. Take the videos. Exactly. There are things we're paying for. We're paying for COVID. Anyway.
There's a health minister.
Of course. No, this wouldn't have been in your tenure. Wouldn't it have been the case?
He didn't say his tenure. He says that there is a health minister. He knows we are coming. He knows we are coming.
No.
He was very current.
No.
He was current.
He was very careless.
He didn't say there was.
Yes.
He says there is.
Oh, no, once a minister, always a minister. Anyway, and we're glad that Mr. George Kujo is here to join us this morning. He's Director of Communications, NATMO, and then PP Communication Team member joining us here on the show. Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, good morning, KMJ.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
I made a comment that lawyer also made a comment. I want to snitch on lawyer, man, and he made a no comment to the comments that I made actually.
Okay.
And,
What are you trying to insinuate?
okay, all right, we'll leave it there.
I will leave it there.
Yeah, and I said no comment.
That's wrong. Somebody's making a no comment to the comment.
Because he's in the car park.
He's in the car park.
Look for you.
He's in the car park with
He's in the car park.
Yes.
Anyway, all right, it's good to have these gentlemen over here. These are very distinguished gentlemen, in the area of field and wherever that they've been, and it's always good to have them here on the show. Now, the IMF is projecting a 4.4% growth rate for 2025, and it comes with conditions, and the condition is that if we're able to stick to the conditions they have given us, we'll be able to achieve this. But are we ready as a nation to go by the conditions to ensure that we're able to achieve this 4.4%? That's 2025, and then 2024 will be 2.8%. Let's take a look at it. I may as well want to start from the currents. So
the incoming
current.
As you would like to tell us.
Honorable, are we? No, first of all, is it even looking good? 4.4 rate, growth rate.
Well, I think that if you're taking the growth rate on its own, then it's not a bad figure considering where we are coming from. Because we have a 2.2 projection.
Yeah.
When you go into negative figures, then it means you're in recession. So on the face of it, we are not in recession at 2.2, and we hope that in 2025, when we come into office, we will be at about 4.something%.
The emphasis.
But I want to make the point that if you look at growth rating on its own, it's not a good indicator of where we are as a country. For our problems, what you really need to be looking at is also, and very importantly, your debt to GDP ratio. So the growth rate is more about your revenue or your incomes and how that is moving. But how does that juxtapose against your debt to GDP ratio, especially when you're not paying your debts? And your capital is still standing there, and you don't know how much interest is on it or not. And then that gives you a better feel. Because even if you have a GDP ratio, which is, or your debt to GDP ratio, which is over 100%, but by virtue of the taxes and the revenue you collect within your system, it's much higher, you can pay, then it doesn't become a problem. You won't even be talking, nobody talks about the American debt to GDP ratio, or Japan. And they have high debt to GDP. But you look at then their growth rate and their revenue stream, the figures they are playing with, and you realize that they can service their debt. But we can't service our debt. In fact, we are bankrupt. We've declared ourselves bankrupt. We are in junk status when it comes to the money market. So if that is the position, it's a nice figure, but it's not the real picture. It can draw you into a false sense of security. But we are always knocking at the door of disaster constantly because of our debt portfolio. So it's a good figure to have. It's good to know that our revenues are going to increase, but we are not paying our debts. And we are in a bad place when it comes to, we are still negotiating on our external debt portfolio. So that for me is where, as a country, we should be looking. But in terms of international economics, it's good that at least we are not moving to, the projections that we are not going to go negative. We are going to go positive in terms of from 2.something to 4. None of which is actually the best. In a country like Ghana, you would hope to see something in the region of 6 and 7%, is what I would say. And then you know that actually you're trying. And if you get beyond that, then you're in a good place. So for example, so you'll notice that in Ghana now, they always tell you your rates with oil or without. You understand? And when you have a new oil well come in on that particular year, you move up very quickly. But if you're borrowing faster or more than your revenue is allowing you to actually pay for, then in actual fact, it means very little. And that's where we are. So our economy is not in a good place because of our debt portfolio. And we don't even know where we are in reality, because by going into or declaring bankruptcy, there's that freeze interest on some loans, so that is not being calculated or not, and how much is actually there that we have to pay. And if we are still in the 90s or just below for our debt to GDP ratio, then we are in actually a very, very bad place for an economy like Ghana's as it stands. We are losing revenue. I watch that very closely, because unless we are expecting to pump more oil or there's an extra well coming, which may be possible, but our revenue for cocoa this year is not going to be very good. And possibly, I'm hoping that the projection is that maybe our revenue from cocoa may increase next year, which will help the revenue intake in terms of taxes and whatnot. So I could be totally mean about it, but
that's the reality.
The reality is where we are, and it's a one figure, but it doesn't give you the full picture. The full picture is that we are at a bad place.
Interesting. Lawyer, let me come to you. George will have the last say, because this is where he has to make a lot of defense. But now, lawyer, what do you make of this? We have a lot to deal with. We all know our debts and all of that. But a projection like this, if you're looking at it, you may want to say, yes, the reality is there. But if we're able to do well for ourselves, we can get better.
Good morning to our viewers. George, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for coming late.
Oh, you needed to run?
For the records,
you see, okay, he has an explanation.
No.
You see, he has an explanation.
Just keep quiet.
He has an explanation.
I'm just goading you.
He was on the car park. He wants to explain.
Yeah, I got him there.
Last week I was there.
This week he was stirring.
This morning,
what impact does the growth rate have on the general atmosphere of the country? You're looking at economic prosperity.
Yeah.
Are we saying by that time things like the levels of production, income, and employment would have gone up? We're looking at standard of living. Would we say by 2025 the standard and growth of living would be good? Would we say that? Investments. Are we saying that we're going to be able to open up for investments to come in? And if investments are going to come in, where is it targeted? Where will those investments be targeted? We look at government revenue. What are the sources of government revenue? And is there going to be any reduction in poverty? In the past, where we've had increased growth rates, has it affected poverty? And that is a key thing, because you're not only talking poverty in rural areas. There's also urban area poverty. So, international competitiveness, are we going to be very competitive? Because, you know, I heard yesterday that it's possible that a new tax will come in from ECOWAS with regards to they trying to put infrastructure in place, so good roads, internal connectivity, railways. The ECOWAS are doing quite a lot in terms of taxes on imports, but they want to do taxes on exports from countries. If that comes into being, how does it affect us? Now, you then ask the question, what are some of the things that stop us in terms of reducing poverty, in terms of economic growth, in terms of standard of living?
Lawyer Alex.
Alex mentioned a key one, debt. Are we paying our debts today? Our debts have been transposed into 2040, which now become an albatross on our neck. Any government that comes in should make sure they find money to pay the debt. So if you have an increased growth and you haven't taken that into consideration, how do some of these impacts help us? Then you look at unemployment. The rate of unemployment, is it slowing down or is it going up? And what is the kind of employment you're talking about? Is it the kind of employment where the turnover in terms of salaries are high? Or is it a kind of employment where, okay, you are probably a hairdresser and you are training and you are being paid a minimal amount of money? That really can't make ends meet. Or you are a trader and you're trading and the cost of your currency keeps going up. And so it affects you because the exchange rate is determining how your currency works. It's a challenge. Then you talk about, yes, I talked about that. And then your revenue intake. Is your revenue intake based more on taxes? Or is your revenue intake based more on your natural resources? And if it's based on your natural resources, what can you do to make sure that those natural resources are gaining more than exporting whole? So if it so happens that with our cocoa, we are adding value, we are doing couverture, we are doing cocoa powder, cocoa butter, and we are exporting more of that than exporting beans, will that increase our revenue? And if it increases our revenue, does that affect our growth rate? So there are dynamics in there, and I don't want to sound, oh, we are not going to be able to get there. We might be able to get there if we take into consideration the nitty-gritties of some of the impacts that would help us get there. If we don't, then a growth rate of 2.9, a growth rate of 4.4, yes, it might probably help, but it will not stabilize the kind of standard of living that we want.
One thing too I want to find out, I'll come back to you, is the other aspect of the
It's not impossible, but it depends on how we handle
exactly,
it.
even from the conditions from the IMF, that's what they're stating there.
While you're going to him, I would like him to also address one factor. You see, it's a projection.
Yeah.
We projected more before we came to the 2 point something. They had projected a higher figure for 2024.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's been revised now to 2 point something. So the 4 point something is a feel-good factor, assuming you say it's an improvement. But when it's revised, where will it be?
Okay.
So it's a projection. Let us all be clear about it. It's not.
So we may likely even come down if.
It can come.
Yeah.
And in the same way, it can go up.
And again, what type of implements do they use to calculate these figures? As it's a projection, what do they use to calculate it to get to these? Are they realistic figures? Are they taking it from the past projections? What's the arithmetic that goes in there to get these figures? It needs to be understood.
Very well. George.
Yes. Good morning to the Honorable former minister. I wanted to keep it that minister. He knows it, but he's pushed me to go there.
No, he stated his point very clear.
And lawyer Gentia, good morning. Unfortunately, I'm in black because I lost my younger brother over the weekend. So I
wow.
So I overslept a little.
Okay, so the excuse is here now.
Yes. Yeah. The IMF projections, as you said, feel good and others, but we confronted with the realities of the hardships. When you were even talking, you touched on one critical thing that I thought is a bother to all of us. The street light matter, all feed into the economic growth and other things. The GDP growth is very important. But this government, as of now, on the IMF programs, we are meeting the benchmarks and the targets that we're doing. We've gotten the first, the second, and the third, we need to renegotiate or get the capital market investors or, to agree on rescheduling our debt. It's part of the DDP, right? And that seemed to be one of the most difficult engagement that we're bound to have before we get the next tranche. And negotiation is already ongoing. And I understand it's one of the most difficult ones we need to get at, because investors on the capital market are not going to be reducing or saying, okay, we cut off this and all that. It's going to be a hard negotiation. And so the IMF definitely is factoring that in. Don't forget, the World Bank had projected that growth was going to be about 3.3% by 2025, from the 2.8, 2.9 that we've had going forward. We agree things are difficult, but Honorable said we are not paying our debts too. But the other positive side of that too, he knows, is that if you're not paying your debts and you cut down on your expenditure, there's the possibility to reingest some of those monies which otherwise you would have paid to your creditors in your economy for growth trajectories. And that is a possibility. That is if you are prudent with your expenditure, you get it. And so...
is that the case?
Why not? You are not paying
now,
it. It's there.
Many of the conversations that have come have always been around cutting down our expenditure.
Yes,
which has always not been the case.
No, we did. No, last year, yes.
Have we done that?
Yes, last year we cut down expenditure. Yes.
Is that what we did?
Yes, last year we did. Honorable is aware. He's aware. No, we did it last year. Over 20 billion was cut of expenditure cut in last year. You can glean it from the budget for 2024. Yes, over 20 billion. When we said we're cutting down the coupons and all those things,
these are things that we're experiencing.
Yes, and then we had to cut down on some, road projects and go. You saw that we stalled some of them and all that. It's to realign our expenditure and be sure that we are meeting the expected targets or agreed targets with the IMF. You get it? Otherwise, the second tranche, you saw there was some delays and some difficulties. We had to get them convinced that, yes, we've done A, B, C, D, and we are on course with the blueprints that we've agreed on. And so those are part of the things that help us to,
Did that affect the number of governments, people the government is using to run the
yes.
Did we have...
that has been a major concern. It's been a concern.
Let's cut down because
in the
there's
media,
so much we can gain.
We did, indirectly, we did cut down the numbers. You know why? Because of the 30% cut of revenue.
So it's
salaries, So if we are creaming from all of us, that 30% of our salaries is going to be taken away. Indirectly, it's like cutting down the numbers from maybe 80 to about 69.
Really?
Okay? No, 30% expenditure of your revenue is taken out. What does it mean? Mathematically, it translates to numbers.
What is the quantum of people we're talking about?
No, if we're talking about ministers.
So now we are around...
talking ministers, yes. We're talking ministers over 80, right?
Yeah, now we're around 80.
Yes, over... So what does it mean? 30% of each of all these people's salary is going to be taken away, for the sake of economic management and then living a prudent life to assure the Ghanaian that we are tightening our belts. Okay, so in monetary terms, it tells you a certain number of ministers, it will translate to a certain number of ministers who otherwise, if we had...
getting
yes,
we couldn't have done better with the number. Almia is projecting...
No, for
60, 50.
He's projecting 50.
We couldn't have done better.
His Excellency JM is pushing for 60.
Yeah, we couldn't have
done
60 or around...
Oh, no, now, for the aesthetics, it would have been good if we had done that.
Yeah.
But the president also believes in these difficult times, he needed more hands to execute some of the challenges duties that we have had to implement.
That's just about a few months.
Yes. So
the less number couldn't handle this for 8 months.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. That it translates. If there's cuts, fine, it translates. So let's for the beauty and carry the nation along. If we had taken that step, it would have been the best.
Absolutely, because we've got 8 months
80,
or so to do this.
We've moved from
15, a number of 50 is taking care of 8 months.
Yes.
I don't think that would have been...
Yes, well, that's another conversation. But the projections, I think, are real because we are on course. For now, if you speak to the bondholders and co, their dividends are being paid consistently, even though it's been not the
We're
actual,
not going to see any protests.
Yes,
in a
no,
couple
no,
of
we don't expect that. Because where we are now is the capital market. We're finished with these ones, and there's been agreement. So what it means is that we're going to be meeting, and you spoke about revenue.
Yeah.
It's key in meeting these things. Honorable, they talk about debt. You know, this morning on your sister station, Joy News, they were looking at the projection hitting about 84% by the end of year, debt to GDP, which is still high. You get it. We've been able to come to around, I think, 71 thereabout. But of course, the computation is excluding some expenditure, which our brothers, the minority, disagree with that kind of computations. But the IMF didn't have a problem. Even though they allow us, they also do the holistic computation and gives us, if it were all put together, this is where you are. And we are looking at possibility of hitting 84, and then inflation hitting around 19%, okay? Also from your sister station. So these are some of the projections. So when we meet these targets and the revenue thing, this budget, 2024 budget, is made projection. Now we are hovering around, I think, 14% tax to revenue, GDP, this thing, we anticipate to reach 18 to 20%, between 18 to 20% by 2028.
Okay.
Yeah, you get it. Not 25, by
2028.
So that's the target. And so what it means is that we are gradually going to inch up, you know, to 15, 16, 17 by then. So by 2025...
That will require a lot of work.
A lot of work. And that's why Ghana Revenue put up these pilot projects that incidentally created some problems, because the feedback, when they take people to sit at the shops to look at the cash flows in and the market people, the traders were not too happy and comfortable with that.
Yeah.
You get it?
And it didn't last.
They
because,
complained.
I mean,
Yes, they complained. And that's why His Excellency, the Vice President, made the comment he made. It was a feedback from the traders that they are not comfortable with that, okay? And so the term harassment was used, and the revenue people were angry, you know, that was it. But it was a feedback we got from the tests the revenue agencies conducted. And so if we'll be able to push that, and we'll be able to cut down on expenditure. KMJ, this government, I've said that this government, some of the challenges is not about mismanagement or incompetence. It's about our decision to add more revenue or expenditure items to the structure of our economy, which hitherto were not there. Okay? Free SHH, for instance, was not part of our expenditure. Teacher training, nursing training allowances were not part of our expenditure. Courtesy His Excellency JM. Okay? In 2025, 26, they thought it was a needless cost. Okay, we restated it. This IPEP, okay, one constituency, 1 million, which is created, the Coastal Development, Middle Belt, and then the Northern Development Authorities, okay? These were expenditure items that hitherto were not there. This government has decided to bring it on board. And so if you do that, what it tells you is to raise your revenue, increase your revenue, because you thought you have access to the capital market, and now that you're rated junk status and you don't have the capital market access, what are you going to do? Are you going to cut down or stop some of them and then get your revenue aligned so you'll be able to prosecute?
But that is crucial.
Yeah, no. Fortunately, no. Fortunately,
allowing itself
do you know what?
Fortunately, budgets that were not calculated.
No, they were calculated, but they were not expenditure items on our budget.
But bringing in into work now brings another problem.
But fortunately for us, fortunately for us, the IMF has agreed that it be sustained. Okay, you know, people were saying once we go into agreement with the IMF, there's the possibility that the free SHS and some of these things will be cancelled. Because there were social protectionist projects or programs, the IMF thought go ahead with it. In fact, they even taxed us to spend more there. You remember the electricity issue. The IMF, in some of these things, he's here, he knows what I'm talking about. They said, look, we cannot allow you to quasi-subsidize electricity for any consumer. You get it? Once the ECD, they sell the power, they must be able to break even or maximize some returns. Government shouldn't be taking money and putting in there. They would rather government uses that money to support social programs and policies. And so that is what is good. That's how come you got to a point, there was some slight increment in electricity so that we meet the projected targets, okay, of revenue that will be raked in and then bridge the gap. E-levy is not doing as well as we anticipated, okay?
Go there.
It's not doing as well as we anticipated. And so these are all... all these things. But let me run up, Honorable. So I believe, yes, I believe the projection of 4.4 is attainable. It's attainable because of what we have been able to do. And if the projection of 19% or less inflation this year is achieved, then of course, 2025, it is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible.
All right, very well. Newsflash is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, Phone Papa Pafie. You can go on our social media page, and please, when you go there, you can only engage with us, but don't pick any number from Google or anything to deal with us. Just call our numbers. Now, if you're looking for phone, we're talking about iPhone, Samsung. If you're looking for a television, we've got the biggest inches that you can get. And also, those of you out there who need air conditions, the place you have to be is Franco Trading Enterprise. And we're giving you quality. And trust me, you would love this products that we're selling to you. All right? So just give us a call. The number is on the screens, 0555-9393-111. You can call us and do business with us. Newsflash is brought to you by the kindest courtesy, Franco Trading Enterprise. Honorable, you disagree.
No, he agreed with me. That's one small point.
Totally convinced.
That what?
The most hard or the most difficult job to do in Ghana now is to be a defender of MPP policy.
I disagree.
Because my brother was in trouble trying to explain situation. And in some cases, he was even digging holes.
He was sliding.
It was, you see, because, you see, when he went down the road of expenditure, you asked him some questions, and he tried his best, but it wasn't convincing to him. You see, if your incoming flag bearer, or your flag bearer now is your flag bearer, he's not income, he's a flag bearer, who wants to be a president, who is a vice president, is telling all of us that he will have 50 ministers.
And it's possible to run the country with that.
And you have your current minister, you as vice president, you are at 80-something. Does it make sense? So if that is good, why not now?
Exactly.
Because one of our biggest problems is expenditure.
Yeah.
So if you are saying, oh, we cut salaries, with the cut salary, why didn't you know I'll keep the number? Because I've cut salaries, so there is no need for me to move to 50. Or was it because John Mahama said 60, so he has to go down? It's almost as a reactionary statement, as opposed to a really thought out process. And when he spoke, it made it clear that they didn't have a plan. Because if you say you want to do all these social interventions, and we are all suffering because of those interventions, what was your plan when you were making those interventions? Part of the reason why we have a problem with the MPP or Nana Addo's government is because of the lack of integrity at the moment that they have. We don't trust them. You see, till the IMF came, all the figures from 2018 or 2019 to about 2022, we should just pick them up and put them in the garbage can. Because when the moment the IMF came in, our debt to GDP ratio shot from the 80s position to over 100%. because of this underlying reporting that they were doing. They will report something, say, no, this one is not part. It is a separate debt. It's a debt you owe. So when you decided that you were doing all these hudious calculations, and it came to the fore, we now all saw the length of the frog.
Yeah.
Because now the frog was
the
dead.
real states of the situation.
You understand? Because we kept telling you that your figures are not correct. And that's why when people are talking of growth rate, we don't trust their figures. Because they always have a way of calculating it, which is not. So why is it that if the IMF came, they didn't leave their below the line. And they decided to add it and tell us that our debt to GDP ratio is over 100% now. And that we are now working to come to this.
I'll explain.
So for me, the whole position of his figures don't make sense. He then also said that in order for the president to be able to work with the conditions that we have, that's why he still kept the 80-something. But that was the same story we heard when he said he's in a hurry. So he wanted 125 ministers. Your rush has put us here because you were rushing to nowhere.
We could have reduced it.
Where are we? We are all suffering this rush. We are all suffering it. And you yourself realize that you have to, if it was good, keep the 125. If it was good, it could never. Look, the decisions made were wrong and they were poor. And we are now playing catch up. We are all suffering it. And you are talking of, so what use is your social interventions if the person cannot take public transport? If the person doesn't have enough in his pocket to move? If people are not feeding well? If we cannot clear common drugs from the ports to help our people? This is the reality. So for me, I'm clear. I hear him. But he's struggling to convince me that we are in a good place and that after 7 years, you have no Mahama to blame.
Yes.
You have no one to blame for where we are.
Mahama.
Your people are. Everything Mahama. After 7 years, it is all in your pocket, in your basket. And Ghana, every single macroeconomic indicator is worse than when we handed over government to you. I was looking at the pound to the CD rate.
That's for that one.
And and I was like, where are we going? And you're going to go to the next topic about transport fares going up. So when we are in that type of a position, that is why the flag bearer of their party is in a total mess. Because he doesn't know whether he can defend his government position, which he's part of, or he has to say that he's coming with totally different policies, which are more in sync with what NDC is saying. And he is in government, he cannot do.
Some he has been bold to, even that comes with consequences, but I'm sure that's an internal issue that they will deal with. But, I mean, looking at it, I look as if that almost everything that he's saying is towards what we are all looking at, making.
Apart from that, domestic borrowing this year has gone up by 21%. And we haven't looked at the impact of corruption and procurement. So you might catch the salaries of ministers. However, when you look at the corruption index and you look at procurement, that is where the challenge is. What have we done about it? Look, you showed a map of the growth in the world. Africa, the entire Africa, last year was 4%. When you consider the quantum of natural resources we have, we are a population of 1.4 billion people compared to China, who I'll say in size, okay, we can compare in a bit, they are 34%. Because they've been able to do what? Add value. They've been able to take their people out there to bring money back in. They've been able to invest in other parts of the world, which is bringing income in.
And they have a viable tax system.
Exactly.
That is part of the revenue.
So you see, where we've gotten to, and I keep saying this, and probably the NDC and the MPP might not agree with me. We've got to a place where some of the issues are national. where we should take politics out of it and be able to sit together to get certain solutions that will catapult us forward, because there's always going to be a change of government. And based on that, we can move forward. But this bit where, okay, I'm in, so I'm doing this, so you don't have to a part of it. Then you come, I change, this one comes in, this bit do, then you change. Does not help any of us, especially where we stand today. Domestic borrowing, banks are prepared to lend to government. Why? They feel it's safer. But they should be lending the private sector to pick up that side. Because if the private sector is doing well, it reflects on government. But if the private sector is not doing well and they are not getting money to handle their businesses, how do they increase your salary? How do they increase my salary? How do businessmen feel that the economy is getting better, so we can bring in more investment, we can do more things? So it's a situation where we shouldn't feel that because we are in power, we're doing X, Y, Z. We should feel that because we are in power, we should try and bring others on board to see how we can sort some of these things out. The energy situation is a national issue, complete national issue.
That should be. That should
okay,
be.
MJ,
Yeah.
if I'm explaining...
No, I'll come to you. I'll come
Okay.
to you. Can I do some few messages?
Oh, if I finish, then you box it in.
No, you're going to take a long time to do this.
Oh, no, I won't take much
Maybe
time.
some of the comments are comments you want to
they
address.
may even disorganize.
Okay, so please do that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
But these are all MP.
I've not read the one of the debt to GDP that the IMF computed. It had to do, for instance, it's not below the table figures. It's, for instance, Ghana Water Company, Electricity Company of Ghana, Great Cool, those establishments. The IMF said, okay, when the banking sector had that difficult challenge, the buck stopped with the government. And so in the event of any challenges with these state institutions, the buck will stop with you. So put their debts on the table. So we'll do the computation. That was not what how the calculations were done prior to, the 20 this thing. Institutional debts are institutional debts. Okay, so that is it. So and the IMF negotiations, Ghana Water, ECG, all those VR, all state institutions and their debts were put on the table. Okay,
that was the conversation.
Yeah, that's what pushed it to the over 103% that Honorable spoke about. It's part. And what's there below that this thing is there. Because the IMF has not disagreed with us completely. Yes, he's right. Sometimes they do the computation, they box all up. Sometimes they agree with us that, okay, the banking sector reforms and co were not things that we anticipated or envisioned. Secondly, Honorable and the NDC, they speak as if we are in the normal times that we were when they were in power. Post-2020, okay, the world has been completely
We're going back
different
to COVID?
because of, yes, they are parts. Russia, Ukraine, COVID, you cannot discount them, okay?
But other
Honorable did
economies are
say,
doing well now.
yes,
America
they are all
speak
picking
right
up,
now,
yes.
has been
But they are
targeted
as
as the country that is going to strengthen our growth.
Yes, but that is also
2 days ago.
But because
that was the report that came.
the dollar is the global currency. Okay, that's how come this government is building our gold reserves. Going in the future, how it's going to help soar up our currency.
But this is something we could have done.
Initial economics, yes, that's
have
been,
done over
yes, yeah, the store of value is the gold. You get it, but the world has. That's why China and co are saying they are now going to come together, Russia, and ignore the dollar, so that they can also build their own currency globally. Another one, we didn't rush to nowhere, Honorable. We rushed to somewhere. Okay, we rushed to somewhere.
Which
is building the industrial sector, 1D1F, of 100 jobs created, opportunities created, and road construction under them over the 8-year period.
You know
we
that
had
you speak like
4,000. Oh, no, is it mischievous? Oh, okay. That's the mission. That's the mission. You get it. So that is important. And him, road construction, almost 12 1,000 kilometers as against 4,700 kilometers. It's something that we need to look at. You get it? These are things that have hit us, but fortunately, we're building back better. And that is how come the IMF is making those projections. So there were things that were put on the table. There's real achievements that is helping people in all sectors, and we need to encourage that to continue to build that. And next year, definitely, we may begin to pay our debts. I did say that what we are not paying will be reinjected into the economy to build the economy, okay? Our debt, our GDP is in excess of over $70 billion.
We've taken it to 2040 every year, 2040.
Yes. So we build it.
So we're gonna.
So that gives you the space, the breathing space to be able to. And the last one.
But then again,
and the last one, the recent Ghana Statistical Survey on unemployment. They did something. They said that number of people who come onto the market, the last they said was about 440,000. And of that, about 60% of them got job opportunities. So the numbers are there, but they are being, absorbed. Yes, gradually. Yeah. So that is what is more progressive and tells the young people that the opportunities are being created and given the chance, breaking the age chance, they will get more opportunities.
The interesting part of this is the fact that
left you because you are bereaved. You have left you, but if you bring yourself, we shall put a funeral aside.
The interesting thing is that we always have these conversations coming up in terms of unemployment, and there's a way that we're meant to believe that things are better. But when you walk on the street, like lawyer would say, the situation is always different.
Do the people feel that way?
Let me get the thoughts of our viewers out there. But if you need a screen like this, to do what we do over here, Franco Trading Enterprise is the place to go. They've got 35, 32, they've got 55 inches for you. You can always get, and if you're looking at what we're doing over here with this very big screen, it's very, very nice, all right? You can get that at Franco Trading Enterprise. Now, let me get your thoughts on some of the issues we've discussed so far. This one says, good morning, Mr. Host. As for me, I just don't understand my people. Every time we keep on discussing the same issues for the past 20 years and the results is zero. On a more serious note, you guys feel less power, and until all of us start behaving like bus stop boys, Ghana will not move forward. Let's see the Christ-like in you. Guys, please just join Alpha Hour and stop sleeping. So bus stop boys are a group of young men who are on the streets, and what they do is they go to places where there's filth and then they clear it up. I mean, they've been doing this for a while. It's a good thing they're doing, volunteers. They don't get paid for anything. But if you see what they do, there's places they go, they entirely change the whole place, and they're on social media. So I think you should check them out and see how we can, speak to them. Or is that possible, though? Why not? Okay.
It's a good...
Yeah. They're doing amazing stuff. Now, this one says, good morning, Mr. Host and your panelists. It is my harmless appeal that you use your media to let the general public and the government know that teachers who always try to build our human and labor force are not fairly treated. If a teacher who has taught us to become who we are is treated badly, then there is no hope for Ghana. Once a teacher is treated badly, he or she will not be able to deliver effectively and efficiently, and it is the nation who loses. Ghanaians are not seeing the impact of teachers. Journalists are not speaking for teachers about the bad treatment by various governments. We need vocal people like journalists to spread our pains and agonies we teachers are going through. Only God knows. It is a cure. It's a cure to be. It is a curse to be a teacher, or bad to become a teacher. A teacher who taught these politicians is earning a small amount at the end of the month. It's a pity. You sound like a teacher, but you didn't add your name to it. Please do well and add your name so that we're able to know where and who is behind that. Now, good morning, my brother. This NPP government is the real definition of corruption, failure, lies. Mr. Sami Jemfi told Ghanaians in 2016 that they should not sell their color TV for black and white. We thought it was propaganda. Now we are feeling it. Solomon Zenu Martin Luther sent
I disagree with you.
I disagree with him. This one says, good morning. I think I've read that. From Honorable Akisme, before he comes to attack me, let me read it. It says, good morning, my man, KMJ. Good morning, my brother. So NPP plans to hike fuel prices all the way to 23 Ghana cedis per litre. Good job creating GRTCC and bringing some sanity to public transport fares. It was obvious driver unions were taking undue advantage to increase fares way above corresponding fuel prices increases, making a dire economic situation even worse for the citizen. The transport fare too is being treated like doomsaw under the corrupt NPP government. Meanwhile, the poor passengers are already paying for the new increments on the transport fare. They are behaving like they are not in the country. That's Honorable Akisme in Seshubekwa sent in that one. So the PR has been talking, and I'm sure he's not happy about it, but well, that's what is on the grounds. Now, the recklessness, incompetence, and the sheer mismanagement of the Nana and Bawumia government has brought us to these economic crises. These people, while in opposition, spoke as though they were angels and would turn this economy around, given the opportunity. They went to the extent of touting Dr. Bawumia as economic wizard, who can change our economic fortunes within a year. Today, Ghanaians have given them the opportunity they have been looking for, and all they can do is to engage in blame games and needless propaganda. Tell Georgia Isi to reserve his energy. The incompetence and the level of dishonesty exhibited by this government is inexplainable. Daniel Apaliok from Sandima sent in that. John, that was for you. Hi, Mr. Host. Moving the Ameri power plant to Ashanti region is like robbing Peter to pay Paul. This is another grand scheme by NPP to buy vote from their stronghold to the disadvantage of the Western region where the plant was originally located. The people of Western region must vote wisely because Akufo-Addo and the NPP have no respect for them. NPP never again, because Ghanaians cannot be fooled or scammed by any vote buying schemes this time around. Powerfully, a citizen, not a spectator, sent in that. Let me go here and see who we have. It says, what the NDC should know is that no NPP minister has taken double salary as some of the NDC ministers did. Fear the NDC. And that's Ajiman Boat.
That is
from
probably false.
Really?
It's false. The double salary
issue, I beg your pardon.
The double salary issue cuts across. So he shouldn't even go there.
Oh, so it happened?
It happened.
Under you?
No, under you.
And
you.
Oh, no, it was under you.
Alaji outside Paper says, good morning, my brother.
But your name wasn't in, so it's not part.
I am so sad this morning and my heart bleeds for the nation. What actually took place yesterday in Kumasi was so shameful to say the least. Hope you remember the construction of the George Bush motorway. President Akufo started it and left power. The NDC came to power and continued and complete the project. President Akufo was invited as the guest of honor to grace the occasion by the late President Mills. Yesterday, President Mahama's name was not even mentioned, but rather the occasion was used to call him names by the energy minister and the president himself. Truth be told, NPP as a political party has no shame. Remember, because of this Ameri plant, former energy Commissioner Donko, you meant to say, and other members' house was invaded by the BNI. A delegation was even sent to Turkey to investigate the issues surrounding this plant, and nothing good came out from that. Yesterday, the occasion was used as a fanfare for the NPP to make it look like something new has been brought to brought by the president, Nana. This was nothing but just for vote buying in Kumasi. But I'm happy the good people of Kumasi can read in between the lines. NPP as a political party has no shame. And Honorable Alexander Sebefia, I salute you this morning. How do you know that the Kumasi people can read in between the lines? How do you know that? You think they're not excited about what has happened and they will leave it at that? Blueprint writes from Esikado Ketane. It says the former appointee of SWA Mahama administration and CEO of Maslock, Sednam Tamaklo, was found guilty of conspiracy to steal, stealing, causing loss to public property, money laundering, and causing financial loss to the state, amounting to 90 million Ghana cedis. The alternative is scary. Greetings to Honorable Charles Bisu, the incoming MP for Esikado Ketan. So this message was basically okay. I'll come back and read some of the messages that have come through. But
you know why I said that? When you read some honorable
pointed at you that this is for you. So now you guys are doing Is it 2-1 against, or is 3-1?
I think so. You got about 3.
Very well. Now, a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise for giving us the chance to do this. So please locate them. We have got branches over here in Accra, Kumasi. Make sure that you get into any of our branches. If you need an iPhone, a Nokia, Samsung, smartphones, smart TVs, if you need it, tabletop fridges, we've got Franco Air Condition for you as well. All you need to do is to call us on 0555 939311 and also 0246422 and speak to us. Download the app. It's Franco Trading app on Google Play App Store and visit our website www.francotrading.com and do business with us. Now, the good thing is that we're giving you 40% discount on all accessories that you buy from us, and some other phones that you buy from us, you get a 40% discount. Anyway, speaking about the fairs, and I want to start with you because you may be leaving us very soon, but we have this that we want to take a look at, and when we come back, I'll take your thoughts on that, Honorable. Let's get it.
Personally, dear, fuel prices no a kosura. I'm not happy. Me interested about the fare no say be increase fare no. E basa na amane ma ayeden ayeden amatemam fuo no because enipa no akwa neema obetena kan mu na ayeden akwa neema no. Enti se ye ono ne fare no ne bo eyeden a akwa neema ba yentimamufuo no nso no ahokyere be den ebeba. Enti according to me ne de me interested about say ye beto lolly fare nim.
Oh, say omo two fares no de oduma bia no also like obia use car because me say me ton phones to be to phone a otimika say me fama delivery guy no fam bre no. Nti esa na moto guy no so be ka say onso de bia to because ya to events full am. Say enso be cost kakra. And me so me phone so me de be to so because sa delivery now or be ato so me so me to me there so say na be ya I be go shemo.
Petrol ni de omotum sa ha na ma bebre. Empene for no me ntia say omo sorry no omo da sorry no omo so omo increase ni ama. Omo dwe timamufo no ho kakra. Oh, e ma transport no e din sa na affect your business no. High bibia, can bibia until yes almost say omo na na man ya omo ngugum kakra na ya omo na etim na kasa omo tufu wa ha omo tufu wa until na so omo nya hihia be boa ya ntimamufo kakra ya akra ha de ya hu niam bebre say ebia niam bi boa ba ya wa say no ya ndwe ya mamenum ne ya nananom na omo ekurase na sabio omo faka kwantenti ansa omo da de omo da akoba bi no ya omo ndwe omo kakra affect omo dodo.
Yeah, yes. It's very difficult because as a student that I'm here in Ghana, it's very difficult because we have to get some money to transportation every day. Before it was lower, but now it's very expensive. So this is affecting us. I don't know what's going on. We don't have any explanation. Yeah, we don't know. And we are suffering too much. Especially with that we are not Ghanaian, we don't have sources to earn something, and we just depending on what we are getting from outside. And it's so difficult.
About the transportation fare. So here, because I'm living at Alajo, from Alajo to cycle, like the transportation in and out is so expensive, you understand? So all those things you must, like the government must think about this and then help us. We are here as a foreigner, we are not working, we just came here to learn, you understand?
We also increase the price because as far as the fuel rise, if we don't increase the price of our business, it will affect our business. And so we have to also increase so that the last consumer have to bear the risk. It affected you as when we take 2 liters, you can work as long as and get a lot. But now, when we take 2 liters, it will not take time. The amount you get at the end of the day, it will not reach.
Well, I've experienced it a couple of times. Maybe 2 or 3 times, I can say. It happens usually when it's getting late in the evening.
and then you are trying to get a car, and then it becomes scarce. So the bus conductors may tell you before you go, you have to pay an amount of 10 cedis, which initially they used to charge 5 cedis, but they've increased it about 100%. So you have to pay. If you don't pay, you won't go. Sometimes I might go to school and then save some money for transport. So if the money is not enough, I have to call home for them to send me money for another transport.
Actually, when the place gets choked, okay, the fee is increased from the normal price. It's increased. So let's say for instance, I come from Ofanko side. The normal price is 5 cedis, but immediately the place gets choked, the people get crowded here, they increase the fare to 10 cedi, and it's very, very disturbing. From 5 cedi to 10 cedi is too much. It's too much to bear. I don't blame them because...
All right, some views from passengers, commuting from different places, speaking to us on how the experience has been like in terms of the transport fares. And that's our next conversation this morning. Let me begin with, personally, I want to begin with you.
You do, I'm sure you do. I think that...
I didn't understand the word you said.
Oh.
He was very careful.
He understood.
I think there are two issues, and we shouldn't mix the two. One is exploitation of demand and supply principles, where when they see, because of the limited number of cars at a certain point, people then increase their price.
Yeah.
Because people want to get home early or there's not enough buses. That's one aspect. The thing that I think we are discussing or should be discussing is, look, what are the official rates for these journeys? And what is the increment and why is that increment taking place? I think that there is a formula and a process by which this is done. But the fluctuating fuel prices are not helping matters. Because 1 minute, in 1 month, the price drops, say, 20 cents or whatever. The next month, next 2 months, is bumped up 40. At that point, people are screaming for an increment. Then the next month, it drops a bit. And they say, why have you increased? Then it goes up. But so you have to look at the median, the average. And the average is that it has been going up relatively for a period.
Yeah.
And so some increment is definitely on the cards because the taxis and the trotros cannot keep absorbing. There are people who have to go and pay their masters money.
Sales and all.
Sales and whatnot. They will make the sales. Because if they have to go and buy fuel at that cost, they have to work late into the night to even take the car back and give the sales and have nothing to even get back home themselves.
Or risk losing your job in the first place.
Exactly. So we have to take a realistic approach to this matter. If government is saying that fuel prices have gone up and they are in negotiations with the transport people, they have to really listen to what they are saying and the hardships that they are going through. They did it with the unions and the TUC.
Yeah.
When they looked at their wages and whatnot and said, look, based on inflation and what is going on, we must look at it. If you just look at the fuel price, oh, fuel has gone up, therefore, you miss the fact that they live in Ghana and they also have inflationary issues that they have to deal with. So the people are not just raising price because just the fuel alone has gone up. Their cost of living has gone up. So they want to increase the fare. That will give them a remuneration, like the workers everywhere else who is screaming for increased wages, to cover not just the cost of moving my vehicle in terms of fuel, but I should also, at the end of the day, get a wage that makes it. Because even if I increase it to cover the fuel, and I was earning 20 cedis last year, and I'm still going to earn 20 cedis, and inflation is at 20-something odd %, what's the point? So you have to put all these into the basket, when you are looking at what the transport unions are talking about, everything is going up because of inflation. With this Iran-Israel issue, that whole area is becoming volatile. And it is definitely going to have an impact on the world crude oil prices shortly, unless some stability is reached. Israel is talking of retaliation. We don't know or what is going to happen, or whether people can speak to people so that thing. But once things begin volatile in that area, moving oil tankers from A to B and whatnot becomes. So all of a sudden, oil prices rise. Nigeria's revenue becomes very good again for them because they can pump out and send out. Venezuela starts doing well. Ghana, we have a net difference in terms of what we import as against what we produce. Our oil is very good, so it's got a good premium price. But having said that, we actually buy finished product because our refineries are down. So had we been in a position to actually refine and use some ourselves and give out, we would have been able to do a better combination. I don't know how that would necessarily help us if that goes up. But we shouldn't be looking for higher oil prices. It will affect everything, as we know in the past. So you can't blame the transport operators. They are going through their own hell. And government must negotiate. They must go to the table and speak. And it is important for the MPP to understand that sometimes when you are shouting, when you're in opposition, I've been quite decorous in the way I'm speaking. When they were in opposition, they didn't speak like the way I'm speaking. But because we know we are coming to power, we talk and we have been in power and know what it is. We take our time because these are real problems that exist. But they must solve the problem. You know, you read a gentleman's statement talking about, oh, we've been doing this for the last week. Look, there's always a government in power. And we always talk about inflation, we always talk about education, we always talk about health. These are the things, the bread and butter of politics. So you hold the government in power to account, period. Your stewardship against what you said you do. So you shouldn't worry about the conversation. The issue is, are we really taking real steps? And start questioning us politicians when we come and make you all kinds of promises. Question us, why are you saying you can do this? How? When they were bringing in the 111 hospitals, one of the questions I asked as health minister was, where's the money? And how are you going to do it? It was a legitimate question. It wasn't based, because in my experience, it was not viable. Especially when you put a timeline of 18 months on it. I said no. But it has gone through and people are even talking about, this is wrong. So we should be holding, people should be holding politicians at any point to account based on what we are saying and promising, and find out how we intend to do what we say.
Execute those things. Very well. Thank you very much, Honorable. Let me go to you, Lawyer Jantua, and then George will have the last say.
According to the Constitution of GPRTU, they need to hold consultations with government before any price change. But they are also indicating that there are huge delays in these consultations. And really they can't wait because it's not only prices of fuel, but prices of spare parts also. The impact has got to do with how that now translates in food prices, in all the other indicators, because then it raises everything up. The question you then ask yourself, does government really have the capacity to be able to convince transport drivers to bring their prices down or keep their prices where it is? Do they have the capacity? What's causing the delay for them to sit and discuss these things? So it's a challenge that has effect on inflation, has effect on so many other things. That doesn't bode well for the economy. So I would hope that they would quickly sit and negotiate this price, because things are going up, and yes, issues around the world are also
impacting on it.
On it. Is it something that we should look at in terms of, so you have a Chinese refinery in town. They are producing refined petroleum products, aren't they? And these refined petroleum products, how are they supplying those refined petroleum products? At what price? Is that world market price? Why is it that we have left our own refinery and are concentrating more on that refinery? Because with that too, you have capital flight. They would want to then also, whatever money we use to buy their fuel, they will have to exchange and take the money out. So it is a situation that we need to look at, and look at quickly, so that drivers don't take the law into their own hands and start increasing the prices, which some of them have started increasing.
Okay.
It's a challenge, which we need to handle.
Very well. George, you do 1 minute for me, and then we're 2 minutes for me, and then we're done. So maybe you can stay.
Yeah.
Just 2 minutes, so George.
Yeah, I think I agree with the earlier speakers. I don't think it's fair for the negotiations to be stalled and delayed. I don't know what's accounting for that. I think the minister should make the time and meet them, because it's agreed that as long as fuel price increases hits over 10%, they need to sit down. And with all the factors they've enumerated, cost of living and all that, the people in the transport industry, they're doing business. And so you don't need to make them suffer losses. Whilst we also think about the consumers, their welfare and all that. Because without them making some good or optimal profit, they wouldn't be excited to be in the business. And if they are not in the business, we are going to suffer. You get it, walking long distances to our workplaces, and we'll come late and all that. So I think we need to sit down with them. Whatever we know that exchange rate issues is a contributing factor, and the world market price, as they said earlier, is a contributing factor, and then the spare parts angles go. So it's becoming difficult in the transport industry. So let's meet. Honorable Minister, I'll humbly plead that he makes time to meet them and sit down. It's negotiation. They are not going to tell them to reduce price or increase. We are going to judge or to say, okay, because of this cost, A, B, C factors, which is a function of the ultimate pricing, let's agree to say, okay, we move it at maybe 7% instead of the 20 you're pushing, or 13 instead of the 30 you're pushing. Then there's appreciable understanding, and we all go back to do business.
Very well.
It should, even if you want to push it lower, it should work into their arithmetic to make sure that, you know,
really
exactly.
Impacts on them.
Bring government buses in.
Yes.
First one is, if you have government buses,
yeah,
the prices are stable.
Yeah.
So when there's this demand-driven increase where they are not enough, so somebody says
you mean,
5 cities become 10 cities.
You mean the electric buses?
Yeah, the electric is also
I think it's all
the electric bus.
Because the period
more of
the electric buses are parts. Yes.
Oh, the electric buses.
No. I say
it's the trains.
Do you have the adequate electricity?
No.
That's
the bullet ones. The bullet ones.
You'll be in the train and then it stops. Power is out. Okay, we'll get there. But we'll say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning. Phone Papa Pafie News Flash was proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. On a more serious note, it's on Fridays at 8 p.m. Tonight, it's going to be BMPS. Akufo-Addo is going to be with his boys. They've got a great conversation coming up tonight at 9 p.m. Make sure you tune in. Big Chef Junior is on Sundays at 5 p.m. For Kids Paradise, Saturdays at 12 noon. Step Cap is also coming big and large. Toto Diaries will air on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Do not miss any of that. My costume is by Yofi. Yofi put this political suit for me, and you know, it looks good. You can call him on 055-816-0753. That's 816-0753. If you want to look good in a political suit like what I'm wearing, Yofi did it for me. A big thank you to Lawyer for coming through this morning. Lawyer Jantua Esquire joined us this morning. And also we had Honorable Alexander joining us this morning as well. And my big brother, Kujo, also joining us this morning as well. Thank you so much, gentlemen. God bless you. And condolences to you once more. I think that Honorable was in the spirit with you.
When I saw them on
Lawyer beat you to it, but I also tried my best.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much, Franco Trading Enterprise.
You'll be the first here next week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he'll be the first.
Okay. Coming up next, the Shadwa has got a conversation coming on what's trending. Rosalind Felly has also got a conversation coming up a bit later. Relationship this morning, we're looking at pastors who somewhat neglect their kids when they're growing up and the impact that it has on these kids. And that's what we're talking about, our relationship. And we've got some entertainment to wrap it all up for today as well. So there's more coming up here on the show. Do stay.
Newsflash was brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see S-I-N-T-E-X. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Syntax was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntax again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntax gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntax is the answer. Syntax tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Franco Trading Enterprise has not just made things easier for you, but has also given you amazing discounts on online purchasing. You can buy items such as mobile phones, accessories, television, air conditioner, refrigerators, washing machine, and many more. Just download the Franco Trading app on Google Store or App Store. You can as well visit our website at www.francotrading.com. We do deliveries within 24 hours in Accra and in Kumasi. Do you know you can find us on Facebook at Franco Trading Enterprise, Instagram at Franco Trading, TikTok at Franco Trading, and on Twitter or X at Franco Trading 1. Do not call any numbers apart from the numbers on the screen. Beware of scammers. Franco Trading Enterprise is still the home of quality mobile phones, accessories, and your home appliances.
This be me, Kobe, aka Kobe Boga, KB for short. And this is my sweetheart, Obahima. Today, I get big surprise for her. Charlie, gone are the days I couldn't spoil my girl. Now I'm engaged to the woman of my dreams. Don't just look at my success. To get here, I had to follow the process. Out of nowhere, I lost my job. But I believe in humble beginnings. I got an idea that I knew I could grow. I started from a small setup, then invested in growing my own coconuts. I then grew my product lines. Now, I sell to many supermarkets in the country. Fellow young Ghanaians, trust the process and keep hope alive.
Take advantage of agri-business through the Ghana Grows program. Ghana Grows, Hope Day.
Onyamye wo smo na uye kasi obiara nti sewo ampa obiara ni ho asonto sewo e wo soro asase eni Ghana memo national president ni executive mpanyufo a woda Aglo International no ye ni jetu safro bibia the babo sumi Ghana odi mampa bonsuamu ase empa boy ya to the terrify Jumedie Basso Mimnida 20th April 2024 were forecourt of the State House and Crime and upon us 7 a.m. prompt. Theme, oh God, may Ghana's enemies be disgraced and terrified. Psalm 6 verse 10, New Living Translation. Oh Erade, Magana Tafonyina Eningu, na wahu endri won. For afadie bia brebi, join thousands of intercessors as God's battle axe. Kaisa Basso of forecourt of the State House. Mayen shiem woho. Be aglow for Jesus.
It's a lonely world. Everybody tries to hide.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Prime Morning. How you doing? Hope you're okay, and I hope that you are sharing the link on our Facebook page. Everybody needs to know that we are currently live on your screens. My name is Asiedua Akumia, and it's time for me to bring you all the stories that are massively trending on social media. All right, so let's get right into our first trending story of the day. This one, I know that for those of you that love to travel out of the country, love to go have fun, love to go have an adventure and see new things and see new places, and for those of you that are dreaming to go to Dubai pretty soon, this will come as quite a shock to you, but there's been massive flooding in the United Arab Emirates, and you know that with Dubai, okay, they have implemented this artificial rains that comes down because they need to regulate the weather, the rains, because that place is very, very hot. You understand me? But on Tuesday, what happened was that they experienced a very heavy downpour. Now, this is the heaviest downpour that the country has experienced in 75 years. 75 years. So drivers had to park their cars because there was traffic here and there. Cars were not moving. Streets started flooding because of the heavy downpour. Even building facades were shattered. I mean, just look at this. This is really heartbreaking. You know what? Just take a look at these videos. This is very heartbreaking, isn't it? I mean, look at that. My goodness. My goodness. So, some parts of Qatar, were also flooded. And in fact, like I said earlier, this is the heaviest downpour they have ever experienced in 75 years. And we all know that they have a controlling weather, meaning that they control the rains that comes down in Dubai. But unfortunately, it was a slip-off. I don't know why I'm laughing about this, but I don't know what to call it. But their predictions and their machineries and all of that just could not hold the amount of rains that their clouds was going to produce. And unfortunately, this is the disaster that has been caused in Dubai currently. And so people have lost their cars, their properties. Like I said, building facades have been shattered and all of that. It's pretty sad, isn't it? Well, do we have some comments in relation to this story? If we do, let's project them and let's read what some of you have to say. If we have some comments. All right. So DJ Nana said, what happens when you play with God? Okay, when you play God. CFW says, Habibi, come to Dubai. Habibi got already. Hey, okay, Yento I swear. Oh boy, Jess Rolex says, how you if you build an entire city on deserts without proper drainage system? Alan Nananchi says, Modi Dubai, Echa Ghana Mpwasa. Now you see, Ghana ha cry. As the king says, it's no more airports. It's now a seaport. Hey! Bars! Okay, so V. Carter says, there are no gutters on the roadside. That's the main problem. They don't make their road like ours that is gutter on the side. So the water remains on the road and few are able to pass through some small tunnels which is underground of the roads. Whew! Okay, so that's it for this particular story. But however you feel about it, you can still share your thoughts with us on our social media platforms. Moving away from that to the next trending story, this is a very heartbreaking and a very sad one, where some students from the University of Energy, on their return from a field trip in the middle of the night, were robbed. They were robbed of their phones, of their laptops, of money, wallets here and there. And unfortunately, some of them ended up being victims of sexual and physical assault. My heart really breaks for them. I'm really, really sad about it. And unfortunately, there was one of them who was shot, yes. He was shot during the incidents. So may his soul rest in peace. But quite a number of them have incurred some injuries. And we are hoping that for those, all right, so that's the bus. Let's just take a look at this one. Okay, so this is what I would say, that in Adofo, we need to be very, very careful. If you're going on a road trip, one thing that my parents have told me, that never ever drive or never ever go on a road trip or travel in the middle of the night. It's very risky. I'm not best, no, thieves, no many abre. Anyways, speaking about thieves, moving on to the next trending story, it's another theft gone wrong. And I say this because the thief was caught and he was asked to demonstrate. So this is a senior high school that he managed to get into the dormitory and steal things that he wasn't supposed to have stolen. So he was asked to demonstrate exactly how he was able to get into the dormitory, and this is how he did it.
Video.
We're perfect.
We are good in crowd.
We're perfect. We're perfect.
No,
so we've been a friend now. We're here for Corona.
Now, yes, we friend on a big one. Run! Well, Roman,
Radio was so born, so we was your born some man. So that is the Akufo-Addo Senior High School, one of the dormitories, and that's where he broke into. So that's how he entered. On the Aquia flat. Anyway, so let's go on social media. Let's read some comments. Hetty's Delight says, African Spider-Man in the making. Oh, Gareth says, wow, but this talent can be used for something better and more productive. Lynch Official says, this one, my head big like this, and no feet turn thief be that. How will it even fit that space? So what would you? Rachel says, oh, he's just a hungry little boy. They should just forgive him and find something better for him to do. Zuzu says, you just let him keep demonstrating. That punishment would have been enough. Yeah. And not just that. His face is all over on the internet. So now everybody has seen him, his family, his friends, on one car, also a girl, you know, they've all seen him now. So yes, that is enough disgrace for him. But my dear ladies and gentlemen, especially the guys out there, please be careful, all right? Stealing is never an option, okay? So let's just desist from it. Moving away from that to the next trending story. So 2 days ago, one of the trending stories that I brought to you right here on Prime Morning was Shatta Wale, our very own self-acclaimed dancehall king. Well, so after he tried mimicking Obi Nenantia, somebody's walk, and trying to make fun of them, well, the disabled society were not too happy about that and requested that he apologizes to them. And so I know that after that story came out, or after you chanced on that letter from them, you were expecting Shatta Wale to reply, wasn't it? Well, he has. And please pardon us for exactly what you will hear in this video. But you know what? Just take a listen to what he said.
We you enjoy. Because anybody will get accidents, we you know to be okay again. It there under that rule, the disability rule. So you get some incentives. We you enjoy. And some you get where you park for. You get your bathroom, where if you go public place, they get them at toilets, they get them at Monday educate you.
He's talking to all the disabled in the country because
Musa Sumbo. I say Pupa Masum. I say Pupa Masum. Gala is somebody so there for taking away independence can make the president slap him, the ministers go slap him, the MPs go slap him. If you finish, they give him cocoa. Kwasia. No, she's over to me no man.
Hey, Shatta Wale. Anyways, let's read some comments from some of you. What comments do we have? Let's project them. Renee says, I don't understand why I always look at his mouth before I listen to whatever he says. Mayman says, it baffles me how he can be so jealous and greedy to this extent. Get sense, babe. Okay. Champion 2 Mike says, I wonder why he still gets shows to play. And now he plays for free. Beauty Glowing Skin says, mental health matters, or don't blame him. He might be going through something we might not know because his actions are way unacceptable. Meza Joabim says, Auntie, Ekelebe boko dear. Nebu, we beg your husband needs help, and sana aye too late. Queen says, if cancelled culture worked in Ghana, this won't be going this far. Okay, so these are the comments from some of you. Now, still staying in the reggae dancehall genre or industry right here in Ghana, Stonebwoy is doing immensely well. Obieni Abra, what did you Obiatam? You know, he's Shatawale, Bisley saying all sorts of things about Stonebwoy, trying to make fun of him, and, you know, all those stuff. Well, Stonebwoy is also busily cashing out, not in Ghana, but outside of Ghana. And he was spotted on stage with Davido last night at his timeless concert in Madison's Times Square Gardens. And see, Stonebwoy, he's too far gone. He's just too far gone. Anyways, take a look at the performance. Calculate me. Hey, so that was Activate by Davido and Stonebwoy, and they performed at Davido's timeless concert in the United States of America. Like I said, Stonebwoy is busy cashing out, so you can say all that you want to say about him on Timo Case. Let's read some comments from social media. What do we have? Awesome says, we can all agree now that no one comparable to the BIM president. It's not about insults, it's about selling Ghana worldwide. Uncle says, can we all agree that Stonebwoy is the new African dancehall king? Odeshiaba says, while others putting Ghana on the world map, Ghana music AI is on other side asking for lion on TikTok. Who is the Ghana music AI? Who is the Ghana music AI? Hey! Ghana for Mukaso. Okay, Kweku says, Chai, Panadol will finish this morning. The other brother will go live this morning. Oh, you people, why are you doing this? All right, but congratulations to Stonebwoy. We love seeing artists winning massively on international platforms. So congratulations to him. Moving away from that, let's come back to Ghana. And official starter, you remember him, you know him, the gentleman, the young man who dances with the market women a lot. In December, he was here with some of the market women. In fact, the very popular, the very known faces on when he comes to He Dancing with the Market Women. They were here in the building, and we had awesome moments with them. But 2 days ago, it was his birthday, official starter, you can call him Raja. It was his birthday, and he celebrated it beautifully, massively. It was a whole party at the market with these market women. Take a look. Very beautiful, awesome celebration by the Michael woman for Official Starter. I mean, he's done incredibly amazing in their lives. He has pushed them so far, so wide. They have not just been local celebrities, they have been international celebrities. And it is all thanks to God, first of all, and Official Starter. So they needed to celebrate him. It was a whole fufu party in the market. And so a happy belated birthday to you, Official Starter, and keep on doing the great work you are doing with these market women. That's it for the trending stories with me, Akufo-Addo Akumia. But it's time for birthdays. So let's celebrate all of you who are celebrating your birthdays today. To our very first birthday celebrant, Senam Agozi, Xavier Bonnie, and Enyanam Rachel inside Hayfo Pharmacy, Abo, wishing Clementia Holali Tommy a happy birthday. Clementia, we wish all the best in life. Cheers to more life. Age gracefully. We love you. Why? Enjoy your day, Holali. Happy birthday to you, my brother, Aaron Nyadro, a.k.a. Aguto. Koshi, may God bless your new age, bro. Enjoy your day from MCF for Kafkafo and the entire ARS Directors page. Happy, glorious birthday to you, Nanaya Sticky. All the best. Enjoy your day from Security Zone platform. Your grace and mercy has brought me this far. Your baby girl is grateful. Happy birthday, baby. Peace, Abana Sam. Happy birthday to you, amazing friend, Queen Stoning Raw. Raw. God bless your new age, my crush. Enjoy. Happy birthday, Ragna Kwabna Ofori Osei Apia. On your first birthday, we wish you long life, good health, and more wealth. We pray you grow in wisdom from your mommy, Rhoda, and auntie, Nanama Adipa. Please, good morning. On the 18th of this month, please, I want to wish the fantastic, gorgeous lady happy birthday. Okay, for me, her name is Amina Semu Sani Thomas, a student of UCC. Long life and happiness. My name is Jima Shadrach. Okay, so a happy birthday to her. Good morning. Today, 18th, is my birthday. Isaac Friaku, former UPSA SRC presidential aspirant, former assemblyman aspirant at Discov in a Hunter West constituency. Okay, so a happy birthday to you, Isaac Friaku. From Sir Philip, wow, happy birthday to my incredible best friend, Angela Asari of University of Education, Winneba. I am so grateful to have you in my life, and I wish you nothing but the best on your special day. My prayers for you as you celebrate your birthday today is that God will answer your secret prayers. May his blessings and favor locate you, and may this year bring you endless love, happiness, and success. Cheers to many more years. From Sir Philip. Happy birthday, happy 10th birthday, Clenham, darling. Continue to grow in the favor of God. We love you, dear, from your Aunt Della and the rest of the Akata family. So a happy birthday to all of you celebrating your birthdays. Before we move on to the next segment, I want to say a huge thank you to Big Girls Online _Elite for this beautiful pants. I love it so much. I know I'm looking very, swaggish this morning, but thanks to Big Girls Online _Elite on Instagram. And my beautiful hair is from Crystal Beauty Spa. It's Crystal Spa on IG. So ladies, go and check them out. They have beautiful hairs for you. All right, so stay tuned with us right here on Prime Morning. We have so many things lined up for you. Today on Let's Talk Relationship, we are going to be talking about ministry of a family, the dilemma of a pastor's child. So all the questions that you have in relation to stories or situations like this, start sending them in right about now. My name is Akufo-Addo Akumia. We'll be right back.